Welcome to Imperial Kingdom. So, uh, Conor McGregor apparently said that Bud Crawford turned down $200 million to step in the Octagon and face him, and tried to insinuate that that means Bud's some kind of pussy. First of all, any boxer who steps in a ring in between those ropes could never be called a pussy. There's already evidence that he's not. Anyone who steps in the octagon also is obviously, not just obviously, but evidently not a pussy. There's evidence, right? So, Bard is a man who's been planning his career, and he's done it to a T. He's ingenious. He's done it to a T. He's the pound for pound number one, and been that for 7 years straight. And he wasn't getting his just dues, at the earlier stages. So he eventually went to face Canelo, and he had that plan. Why would he now decide, in the middle of all this, to step aside and go into the octagon and face someone else when he's trying to make legacy moves? Legacy moves in boxing. That's a legacy move. It's the money on the other side is big money. It's huge money. It's huge money. And Conor McGregor might even be inflating that. He's saying there's $200 million because he's just trying to obviously get at Conor and get at Bud and say something that's going to be annoying and disrespectful, trying to diss him, trying to get at him. What's the proof that it was $200 million? What's the proof? Well, it would be something like at least $100 million, definitely, for sure. If they went to have it down, definitely, there would be that money available. So I wouldn't doubt. If he said it was $100 million, I wouldn't doubt it. And it possibly could be $200 million. It could be. I'm not going to say it's not, because I bet Turkey Al Sheikh could be involved. It really could be $200 million. The risk is higher, and Bud has had the status. But the thing is, Bud has been planning legacy moves. So I'm not saying there's not $200 million. I'm just saying, yes, how do we even know that? Because you could just be inflating those numbers. You could just be saying anything because you want to diss someone. So Bud has a plan to go into the, of course, he was already, Hall of Fame is a guarantee, but there are legacy moves in boxing. After taking out Errol Spence, who was a big dog, big fish, going up, deal with Madrimov, there are plans in place. Going to deal with Canelo. There are plans in place. And he proved it, that it wasn't just talk. Because he did it. He did all those. So why would you want to jeopardize that by stepping in the octagon before that and fighting someone as a boxer? I'm not talking about losing, jeopardizing it by losing, because then you will say, well, in boxing, a boxer is called a pussy if he jeopardizes a fight by fighting someone else. Because, people are ducking someone. I don't want to fight him because what if I lose? Then I'm jeopardizing my next move. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Yes, you are a pussy if that's what you're doing. Because you're talking about losing. I'm not talking about losing. Because Bud knows if he gets in there with them, he's still going to crack them in the octagon. But it's different when the fight is over. You might have a leg, someone's kicked your leg, or elbow has hit your jaw or something. The measures are different. It's a completely different game in a martial arts world, MMA, to boxing. So you might win the fight, but come back and now you can't fight in your boxing fight, which is your real plan. That's your real career. That's what you actually do. And it's not just another fight for him. It's a legacy fight. I keep using this word so that it gets into your head. It sinks in what I mean. Yeah, we have to convey this specific reality here that we're talking about now. We're talking about boxing world. He is a pound for pound champion, not just a champion, pound for pound. He's in the rankings and had been 7 years straight with phenomenal deeds. He'd knocked people out, like 11 He had 11 KO straight stoppages, which is a very rare feat in boxing. And check this, he was coming from 140. So some of those people were not, he wasn't supposed to be beating them like that. And even if he managed to win, he wasn't supposed to be stopping them. Yeah? Then he now had a plan to step right up to face Canelo. Canelo was a huge super dream fight. That's a legacy move. I repeat that word, legacy move. So he's trying to do something that would stay in his record. It's not just I'm winning another fight or I'm just getting some money. Money is great. You have to plan. That money goes, that word legacy encompasses money too. You can't hide that because we're talking about inheritance. We're talking about heritage. We're talking about wealth after you leave. So legacy, money goes hand in hand with that word. But when you now separate the money from the fights and the fistic achievements and accomplishments in the game, when one is being analyzed after you leave, those are called the legacy remains, what you leave. So your legacy heritage, which fights did you have? What were you like when you were there? All this stuff. Fighting Canelo was the biggest of that. And he already had it. So to tell someone to jeopardize that because of some big money here when there's already big money here on this side, boxing, there's huge money on that side. And now you're expecting him to jeopardize that just for the sake of stepping into MMA. You can't hold him guilty for that. That accusation wouldn't stand. You realize he picked up that type of money anyway when he faced Canelo. And not only that, his status. Went through the roof too, which obviously also commands more money. So you have to really think about what you're saying when you say these things. It's just foolishness. Stupid. It's really stupid. It's really stupid to say these things. Okay. Oh, Crawford was scared. Was Crawford scared to go in? Conor McGregor said he put this, he did that. No, that's nothing. That's you're just talking nonsense, man. You're just talking from your ordinary head. Crawford doesn't have an ordinary head. Evidently. That's why he's where he is. He had a different plan, and his moves are wise. He played chess, while others are playing checkers. Chess. That's a chess move. How you move your life into position. And I guarantee you this, in closing, if Crawford was to get in the ring, in an octagon, with Conor McGregor, he would brutalize him. He would absolutely brutalize him. Someone needs to tell, bro, Conor McGregor, who is a legit fighter, let's not get into it, I'm not calling him a pussy. He dodged the bullet. You dodged the bullet. It's more than a bullet. It's a missile. It's an explosive. Crawford stopped elite boxers, people who are trained to strike, people who are trained to handle and defend themselves against real strikers. They've been doing it. You don't become elite boxer unless you've been doing it from your childhood. Crawford stopped those. He brutalized them. You saw what he did to Canelo. And respect to Canelo too. Let's not, again, he's not no pussy. You know he's not. That's a strong ass dude. Canelo's not just your average. Yeah, he's not your average Joe. You saw when Canelo fought Bivol. Yeah, he lost, but he picked Bivol up on one shoulder. Not two shoulders, one shoulder. Two shoulders is big up too. You should use two. Don't get yourself injured somehow. But one shoulder, that's Canelo's strength. And he put his other hand out, like to say, look, I'm doing this just easy. That's crazy, man. Bivol's one division weight above Canelo. But of course, Bivol's super elite and he's the other way division. Of course, Bivol still won. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying Canelo is no pussy. Right? And he's a legit champion and accomplished a lot. But Crawford came all the way up and dealt with him. Almost stopped him. He rocked him in the very last round. And that's we're talking elite strikers here. This is what they're trained to do. This is what boxing, man. He steps in and you think you're gonna wrestle him, you're gonna outstrike him? No, you're not. He will break your bones. No. With boxing gloves, he would do that. Let's put little MMA gloves on, and boy, you better have 100 ambulances waiting for you, McGregor. And that's with all due respect, because you're a top martial artist. He is. But this is what martial artists have. They're able to assess reality. You're trained to. This is what you do before you go camp. You're assessing reality. So he's a man. He's not a pussy. He will understand this. We're just assessing. It's like if I was your manager and I was telling you, no, or your coach. This is what you do. I'm a martial artist myself, so I'm giving you the facts. This is not dissing. We're just realities here, right? He would absolutely destroy. No, the guy Conor beat. The guy Bard beat. His name is Spence. He was a big fish. He would break all your bones, because that's what he did. And that's not just talk. This is not just hyperbole. Let me just use some phrases. Oh, he would break your bones. No. Top elite fighters had their bones broken. Jawbone, orbital bone, and ribs after Spence fought them. That's the guy Bud took out before he faced Canelo. So nobody I mentioned here is a pussy. Everybody, no one is a pussy, including Conor. But I'm just letting you know the facts. This is how you understand martial arts. Separate. You want to talk about wrestling? Bud was wrestling the Kazakh national team members. We all saw that. He played with them. He's done loads of that. You want to talk about strength? You want to out grapple him, out wrestle him? You're talking about a 140 man who went all the way up to do this to Canelo. It's crazy. Some people are naturally born that way. You want to talk about striking again? You're asleep. You'll be fortunate if you wake. You'll be blessed if you wake. You'll be on your knees and say, give thanks if you wake from Bud. No, you dodged the bullet. Let me tell you that, Conor. You dodged the bullet. You dodged the bullet. You dodged a missile. You dodged a missile. You dodged a missile, my bro. Respect to all. Every name I mention. Every name I mention. You're all martial artists. You're all top boxers. But this is like a round table discussion here. But we put reality where reality is. Extreme martial artist, combat master, Olisa Eric Osai, breaking it down. See, I'm a martial artist too, so there's no bias in this. We're talking facts now. We put facts together. There's nothing you could do to Bud. It's impossible. Nothing.